Hello viewers, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching the videos and subscribing the channel. इस वीडियो में पास्ट ईयर पेपर्स के क्वेश्चंस बेस्ड ऑन डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन किए जाएंगे। तो आइए देखते हैं क्वेश्चंस। कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग डेटा, ईयर्स हैव बीन गिवन एंड birth rate and death rate has been given. For which period was the natural growth rate maximum? So natural growth rate will be maximum when difference between death rate and birth rate is maximum. Then it will be maximum growth. So four intervals have been given. First is 1911 to 1921. We will check only for these four. Rest we won't see. So 48.1 minus 35.5, it comes 12.6. Then next is 1941 to 1951, 39.9 minus 27.4, it comes 5 and 12. Then 1961 to 1971, 41.1 minus 18.9, so 2, and then it becomes 2, 22.2. Then 37.1, last one, minus 48.8, it comes 22.3. so maximum in this. So D is the answer, 1971 to 1981, in which the growth is maximum. Next, consider the following graph. Here in this graph, 1st April to 1st September, data on x-axis, here percentage of work, this is expected progress, this is actual progress. So you can see that expected was more up to here and then actual is more. So it says which one of the following statements is not. So not is important. Correct with inference in the graph given above. On June 1st, so this is May, June. Here the actual progress of work has less than expected. So actual is less because expected is here and actual is less. Correct. And we have to find not correct. The actual rate of progress of work was greatest during the month of August. So August is here and it is saying actual. Yes, because month is up to here, whole month is here, and actual progress of work was greatest. So this is also correct because 1st September is here, so this is maximum and it has crossed even expected one. The work was actually completed before the expected time. Yes, it's before 1st September, which was the expected time, which we can see from this. During the period from 1st April to September 1st, at no time was the actual progress more than the expected progress. It's not correct. So answer is D, because it is more here in the month of August. Direction questions 3 to 4. Consider the following graph in which the birth rate and death rate of a country are given and answer the questions that follow. So here year has been given and this side birth and death rates. This is birth rate and this is death rate. So first is looking at the graph, it can be inferred that from 1990 to 2010, so it should be 10. Here birth rate and death rate has been given, it means it's already rate if difference between them is more than the population growth is more. So we can see here the difference between this is death and this is birth rate, difference is less and here difference is more. It means population growth rate has increased and this is decreased. No, this is correct. Then growth rate of population has remained stable. No, because it has increased. Population growth shows no trend, it shows a trend. So A is the answer. Population growth rate has increased. A is the answer. Here the same graph is there, question is different. With reference to the above graph, consider the following statements considering 1970 as base year. Population has stabilized after 35 years. Population growth has stabilized after 35 years. So first is not correct, population is not given, here rate is given. So first is, second is correct, because we can say it's almost straight line here. After 35 years means 10, 20, 30, somewhere here 35. So this is here and this is here 35 years. So after this graph is almost straight line. So it's stabilized after 35 years. Death rate has fallen by 10% in the first 10 years. So first 10 years means up to 1980. So here this is 25 and this is 30. And after 10 years it's talking about only death rate. So we will see only death rate next 10 years here. So this is 21. So 25 and 21. So the decrease in 25 is 4 and decrease in 100 is 4 upon 25 into 100. So 16%, not 10%. So this is not correct. Birth rate has stabilized after 35 years. This is also correct. So 2 and 4 are correct, because death and population growth both are. So D is the answer. In a firm are represented in figures A and B as follows. So here hourly earnings, here figure A, this is figure B. Here also hourly earnings. Years are 13 to 17, here also 13 to 17. From the figures it is observed that values of E are different. If we see the values, this is starting from 20 and going up to 40. So the earnings are same here, because this is also starting from 20 and reaching up to 40. And we can check in any in between, because 16 we check, it comes 35, this comes up to here. So we can draw a line and see that they are coming same. For 15 it is coming 30. Here also for 15 it is 30. So these are not different. Then ranges, that is the difference between the maximum and minimum of E, are different. Though the scale is from here 0 to 40 and here 20 to 40, but the values which of are earning, that is 20 to 40, so that is same. Slopes of the graph are same. So for slope we can say del y upon del x means y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this comes y2 we take 40 minus 20, all years we take 17 to 13. So this is 2017, 2013. So this comes 4 years and this is 20 upon 4. So the slope is 5 and for both it is same. So C is the answer. What is D? Rates of increase of E are different. No, slope is same, so rates is also, we have checked the value is same for corresponding years. So it is not different, it is same. Consider the following figures A and B. On this figure A, number of pieces manufactured, here cost of production rupees in lakh. Here figure B, number of pieces sold. Here selling price per piece in rupees. So the question is, the manufacturing cost and projected sales for a product are shown in the above figures A and B respectively. What is the minimum number of pieces that should be manufactured to avoid a loss? So if we see here 1000 and this is, so it's in lakhs, so 6 lakhs. So 6 into manufactured, this is 1000 and cost is 6 lakh. So here number of pieces are also 1000, so we need not to calculate anything. We can leave like 1000 pieces and cost is 6 lakhs. 6 into 10 to the power 5. Then 2000 and cost is 7 lakhs. Then 3000 and cost is 8 lakhs. Now when selling for 1000, it is here 4, so 1000 into 400, so it is 4 lakhs. And when we have 2000, it is 350, so 350, it comes 7 lakh. And next is 3000 into, for 3000 it is 300, which is 9 lakhs. So here, to avoid the losses, 7 lakh and 7 lakh means 2000 pieces should be manufactured. So answer is A. Consider the following graph. The curves in the graph indicate different age groups in the population of two countries A and B over a period of few decades. So 1950 to 1970, then end is 2050. Here also same 2050. In this is less than 50 means this graph, continuous graph, and data for 15 to 16 year is this data, and 64 plus is this one, -1. So 3 curves have been given, and on this side population in millions. So now see what is the question. The first question is, with reference to the above graphs, which of the following are the most logical and rational inferences that can be made? 1. Over the last 2.5 decades. Last 2.5 decades means it is somewhere here. We can extend this line somewhere here also. The dependency ratio for country B has increased. So if we see who will be dependent, those who are less than 15 and those who are more than 64, they are dependent. But here we see it is, this curve is of 15, which is decreasing here for B, and this is, and if we say A graph, the independent people have decreased, here independent people have increased. So we can see in the numerical form also, by graph itself it's clear that independent are increasing. It means this statement is not correct, that they have decreased, but we can see ratio also, because dependency ratio we have to find out. So we see the graph and see that values are for dependent point, this value is somewhere 0.2 and 0.3. So for A, 0.2 plus 0.3 upon, for all means these are the percentage of population which are less than 15, and less than 15 is the continuous, which is 0.2, and those who are greater than 64 is 0.3, and those who are working people between 15 and 64, that is, if we see, it is somewhere 0.9. So 0.9. For calculation it comes 5 upon 9 into 100. If we calculate, it comes 55.5, 55.5%. Now for second one, if we see this value, both of them are equal, 0.2 plus 0.2, and here this value is 1.1. So 1.1, this comes 0.4 upon 1.1 into 100, means 400 upon 11, which is 36.36 roughly. So this is the value. So we see that dependency ratio has decreased because working people have increased in B, so dependency ratio has decreased. So this is correct. Second, by the end of next 2 years and a half decades, means that is 2075, the dependency ratio of A, country A, will be much less than the dependency ratio, much less than that of country B. We cannot say anything about this. First thing, data is not available for that. Another, if we see the trend, then also for A, it is so we cannot say anything about this. In the next 2 decades, the workforce relative to its total population will increase in country B as compared to country A. Next 2 decades means 2070. And as trend is showing, it may be more in B in comparison to country A. This we can say with the help of trend. So 1 and 3 are correct. So C is the answer. The graph given below indicates the changes in the key policy rates made by the central bank several times in a year. On this side, time is given July 2 to June 16. This is June 16, July 2. On this side, the key policy in percentage, and this is 3 curves here: repo rate, CCR, and reverse repo rate. Which one of the following can be the most likely reason for the central bank for such an action? Encouraging foreign investment. So generally we see these policies, repo rate, CCR, reverse repo rate, these are to reduce the inflation. We can study the definitions and the meaning and where they are being applied, these key policies, and we know that these are for reducing the inflation. So this is not for increasing the liquidity, encouraging both public and private savings. So D is the answer, and anti-inflationary stance. D is the answer. Directions for question 9 and question 10. The following table gives the GDP growth rate and tele density data of different states of a country in a particular year. Study the table and answer the 2 questions that follow. With reference to the above table, which of the following are the most logical and rational? So most logical and rational inferences that can be made. Higher per capita income is generally associated with higher tele density. So in question it is given per capita income, GDP, tele density. So let's see this one. Per capita income, this is higher, and tele density, this is 77.5. If we see next, then for this tele density is more, so not correct, not true. Higher GDP growth rate always ensures higher per capita income. Higher GDP growth is, let's take this one and let's take this one. So here higher GDP growth and per capita income is less in this case if we compare these two. Here more per capita income. But higher GDP growth rate does not necessarily ensure higher tele density. So this is higher GDP growth and this is lesser than this, but these two are reverse. So not necessarily this is correct. So only 3 is the answer. In this question, data is same. With reference to the above table, the following assumptions have been made. 1. Nowadays, prosperity of an already high performing state cannot be sustained without making further large in its telecom infrastructure. As we have seen in the previous question that per capita income or more GDP is not related to tele density. So this is not correct. Nowadays a very high tele density is the most essential condition for promoting the business and economic growth in a state. So this is also not true, because economic growth and business, they depend on GDP, and of course then per capita income increases, and they are not depending on teledensity. So this is also not correct. So answer is D, neither 1 nor 2. Next question is, the following graph indicates the composition of out tax revenue for a period of 2 decades. So we can see 1992, it is going 2011. So 2 decades are there, and here on this axis, tax percent of gross tax revenue is there. So with reference to the above graph, which of the following are the most logical and rational inferences that can be made? 1. During the given period, the revenue from direct taxes as percentage of gross tax revenue has increased while that of indirect taxes decreased. Graphs here given: excise, customs, corporate, personal and service. And in the figure, this is the corporate and this is personal. These two are the direct taxes. Corporate and personal, these are the direct taxes, and excise, customs and service, these are the indirect. So if we see, these two are the graphs. This is for corporate, this is for personal. This graph is for service, this is for customs, and this is for excise. So excise is decreasing, customs is decreasing, service has increased a little bit, 0 to straight line, say 10. If we join this point to this axis, we will get the exact value, roughly say between 8 or 10. And here we see that the starting point of corporate tax is 10 and the ending, the increase is up to 40, and for personal also 10, and it is coming somewhere here, which may be roughly 15. So the total difference is, it was earlier 10 plus 10, which is 20%, and now it has come to 40 plus 15, which is 55%. Roughly it is seeing that it is clear that due to graph it is increasing, but value we can check. And decrease in the indirect taxes, it was earlier somewhere here, which is 42, roughly it has come to here, which is 15, and then this is some 35 roughly, and it is also 15 now. So initially it was 42 plus 35, and service was 0. So this comes 77. Initially it was 77, and now it has come 15 plus 15 plus 10, which comes 40. So it has decreased from 77 to 40, and it has increased from 20 to 55. This is direct and this is indirect. So it means first statement is correct, which says that during this period, revenue from direct taxes as percent of gross tax revenue has increased while that of indirect taxes decreased. By graph also we can say without calculation, but by calculation we got the exact value. Statement 2 is, the trend in the revenue from excise duty demonstrates that the growth of manufacturing sector has been negative during the given period. There is no data, sufficient data which tells us that growth of manufacturing sector is less or more. No sufficient data, so second is wrong. So option A is correct, only 1. A is the answer. Next is questions 12 to 14. 3 questions are there. The following 3 questions are based on the graph given below, which shows imports of 3 different types of steel over a period of 6 months of a year. Study the graph and answer the 3 questions that follow. So here in the graph we can see January to June. January to June data has been given in this thousands of tons imported is given, and three type of data, this bar, and these bar, which shows first is coil, second one is sheet, and third is scrap, which shows that imports of three different types of steel, different type, coil is there, sheet is there, scrap, over a period of 6 months of a year. Study the graph and answer the three questions. By how much, measured in thousands of tons, did the import of sheet exceed the import of coil steel in the first 3 months of the year? First 3 months of the years are January, February, March, and we have to see the steel, which is the second bar. So that shows 40, it is roughly 40, and second one comes roughly 37 above than this. If we draw a straight line by scale, it comes roughly 37, and third is here, so this comes top of this. We can draw a straight line and measure, it comes 36. So value is 40 plus 37 plus 36, which comes 113, because 40 plus 30 plus 30 is 100, and 7 plus 6 is 13. Next is for coil. Coil is this much, 30. Then we have this one, which gives 31, and then we have this one. Top of the bar we will be measuring to this value data. So this is 30 plus 31 plus 33. This comes 30, 30, 94. So 113 minus 94 is equal to 19. So the answer is C. This is the answer, 19. Next is, what was the approximate total value in dollars of sheet steel imported over the 6 months period? So for 3 months we have seen 113, and last 3 में भी हम add कर लेते हैं. What is the value of the steel sheet? That comes 36 plus 34 plus 34, because we will take the second bar in this, so we will add the height of this, and this, which is 36 plus 34 plus 34, and when we add 113 into it, it comes, this is 217, and we multiply it by the cost. 217 into the cost is $256, and the value comes 55552, which is near to 55550. So answer is C. Next question is, which was the approximate ratio of sheet steel and scrap steel imports in the first 3 months of the year? So in the first case it was 113, first 3 months, and for scrap it is, for scrap we will take this value, then this value, and then this value. This is 32 plus 34 plus 32, which comes 98. So ratio is 113 upon 98, which is 1.15 is to 1, which is near to 1.2 is to 1. So the answer is B. The graph below depicts the earnings of A and B over the period 2000-2010. So we can see this graph, 2000 to 2010 years are there. In this side earnings are there. From the graph, which one of the following can be concluded? A. On the average, A earned more than B during this period. Yes, this is correct, because A is this graph, so area under A is this much, and area under B is, we can see this much, the curve, and the area under this will be this much. So we see that this portion is bigger, so area under A is more than the area under B. So this is correct. On the average, B earned more than A during this period. If A is correct, B cannot be. The earnings of A and B were equal. No. The earnings of A were less as compared to B during. No. So A is the answer. Question 16. Year-wise variation is given. So we can see here 1980 to 2010 of the price of a certain commodity is shown in the following graph. In this side you can see price is given in rupees. The price of the commodity in the year 1990. So 1919 is this. Must have been rupees 10. So if we draw a line from here, perpendicular line on the graph, this point, and it's very visible, it's coming between 10 to 20. So not less than, it's not correct. B must have been rupees 12. It's more than 12. We cannot say 12 or 13, but it is more than. C must have been anywhere between rupees 10 and rupees 20. C is the correct answer. D is higher than that in the year 1991. No, it is not higher than because it is increasing. So this is also wrong. So C is the answer. The proportion of expenditure on various items by two families A and B, so family A and family B, are represented in the following charts. From the chart we can conclude that family A spent more money in food, more money on food than family B. So this is food 50%, this is 10%, and 10% other items, 60% other, and 20%. So we will see on food it is 50% and on food it is 10%. Rest we need not to see because only food has been asked. So total is 20,000, and in this 1 lakh 10 to the power 5 you can count 5 zeros means 1 lakh 10 to the power 5. So 50% means half of that. Half of 20,000 is 10,000. So A is doing 10,000 and B 10% of 1 lakh means 10th part. We have to break 1 lakh into 10 parts and that becomes 10,000. So need not to do any calculation. So answer is same. So answer is C. Answer is C. Same amount on food. Next is directions. For question 18 and 21, the following graph shows the average profit of two fruit sellers A and B. So here we can see two graphs are there. One is this one and another is this one with dots. In thousands rupees per year, and year has been taken 1995 to 2000. So 1995 to 2000 year, and in this average profit in 1000. Consider the graph and answer 4 questions that follows. In which year is the average profit A and B same? So wherever the graphs are coinciding. So we can see here the dot is coinciding on with A. On A there is no dot, but on B dots have been given. So this is the point where they are coinciding. So 1996. Answer is B. Next is same graph is here. What is the difference between the average profit of B and A in the year of 1998? So 1998 is this one. We can draw a figure here, line here. So this is the difference between A and B, or straight line. So little bit here somewhere straight line we have to draw. So we can draw from this point whatever it is on this, and it is coming somewhere here. whatever is here, and this is 4000. For B it is very clear that the amount is 4000, and for A we can find out, and that looks like that it's somewhere below than the midpoint of 34. So we say it's 3400. So we subtract 4000 minus 3400, it comes 600. So plus 600, because question says that average profit of B is more, therefore it will be plus. If it is like this, that A, profit of A, then it is negative, means it is going in loss, less than B. But it is saying profit of B, it is positive 600, and no other figure is near to 600, so the value which we have taken around 3400 is correct. So answer is C. Same figure, what is the trend of the average profit of B from the year 1997 to the year 2000? So for B it is asking, and in 1997 it is here, and then it is increasing. So it is, earlier it is constant almost, then increasing. So it is non-decreasing. So it is B. The following table shows the marks obtained by two students in different subjects. Students A and B are there. This is A and this is B. Marks, maximum marks means out of which student is getting marks. Here also maximum marks. And subjects are English, psychology, history and Sanskrit. And question is the difference in the mean aggregate percentage marks of the student is. So for mean aggregate we have to find out total marks of the student, which is 60 plus 70 plus 50 plus 30. So this comes 210 upon total marks or maximum marks. So it is 100 plus 100 plus 350. So percentage is multiplied by 100 and it comes, we can divide it by 7, 5, so 60%. And in second case the total marks are 200, 350 and 375, and in numerator it is 80 plus 70 plus 60 plus 15, it comes 225 into 100. So we just divide it. We can divide it by 25, and then this becomes 125, so 5 times, and here this is 9 times. Now we can divide it by 3, and so this also comes 60%. So if we remember the table of 25, it is easier. Tables up to 25 should be remembered. Now the answer is 0. Difference is 0. There is no difference. Both of them are having same. This question is the following table provides. The following table gives population and total income of a city for 4 years. Year is given, population in lakhs, income in crores. So the unit is different. Which one of the following statements is correct in respect of the above data? Population increased by 5% or more every year. So we check one value. For 5% we see the population, the difference is 1, 20, 21, 22. So 1 upon, if it is 20 then it is 5%, if it is more than 20 then it is less than 20%. So we say, let's say any value we can take, let's say 21. So here the difference between population is 120, 21, 22, 23, which is in lakhs. So 1 lakh, and the base value is we can take any value 20, 21, 22, 20. If we take, it will come 5%, but if we take 21 or 22 or 23, it will be less than 5%. So need not to calculate more, because it's not true. 1 upon 20 is 5%, and if we are taking below more value, it is less than 5%. For calculation, we see population difference is 1, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we take 1 upon, now we can take base value any 20, 21, 22, 23. So if we take 20, it comes 5, but if we take 21 or 22 or 23 and make percentage of it, it is less than 5%, because if it is 20, then it is 5, and the statement is wrong because it is less than 5%. Second is income increased by 10% or more every year. So income is in lakhs, which is, again we will take the difference between two values, any two values, and then the base value. So it comes 1225 minus 1111 upon 1111. Take a value where calculation is easy, and calculation is easy when we take last two values, because it shows the values are in ending with 5 digits. So upon 1225, so we see it becomes 120 upon 1225, and in percentage this comes 9.79%. So what will we do? Multiply it 100, and the percentage is 9.79%, which is less than 10%. So this statement is also not true. Per capita income was always above rupees 5,000. So this seems okay, because that income is in crores. So to make it in lakhs, we have to multiply each value by 10 square. So this is, and then for finding per capita income, we have to divide the income by population, and we have to make both in same units. So we have to multiply that value by 10 square to make it in lakhs. So that means by 100 upon the population in lakhs. So this becomes 5, and when we multiply, it's more than 5,000. Each value will give, because for 5,000 it has to be 1,000, but each value is more than 1,000. So the per capita income is, so this is correct, more than 5,000. Per capita income was highest in 1994. So 1994 is this much. If we calculate per capita income for 1994 and 1995, it comes 1225 into 100 upon 22, and for next it comes 1345 into 100 upon 23, and here big difference is there in above, and here one value. So obviously this has increased, and if we calculate, this comes 5847, and the previous one is 5568. So this is more. So 1995, so this is also wrong, D is also wrong, so C is the answer. 4 cars are hired at the rate of rupees 6 per kilometer plus the cost of diesel at rupees 40 a liter. In this context, consider the details given in the following table. So here car A is given, mileage, kilometer per liter, hours, and total payment. Which the car maintained the maximum average speed. So average speed, mileage means the diesel is being consumed in the distance. So in 1 liter it is consuming 8 A, car B is consuming 10, car D is consuming 11. 1 liter for 11 kilometers car D is consuming. For 10 kilometers, car B is consuming 1 liter, so it won't affect at all. D. Now payment will also won't affect on speed. So what will affect on speed? The time, and we know the formula, V is equal to D upon T. Wherever T is less, it means speed is more. Distance is same for each case. So T is less in A case, that is 20. So for car A, the speed is more. Next question. You can calculate by doing that. First payment is there, so P is equal to 6D plus 40 into, and distance has been divided into mileage, so we get this. From here we can get the formula for D. D will be PM upon 6M plus 40. This can be done. Then from here we can write down V is equal to D upon T. So D we will put in each case this. P is given, mileage is given, and T is given. So we can find out velocity. And in the first case it comes, if you do, it comes 106 upon 11. That we can write down values. If I want to write, it is 2120 into 8. That is the mileage. PM upon 6M, 6 into 8 plus 40, and into the time, which is 20. So this if we calculate, because this becomes 88, so 811, and we can remove this. So 106 upon 11 is the value for this. But need not to do this much. Directly we can say T is less, so distance is same, so A is having maximum average speed. In this question 25 to 29, study the two figures given below and answer the 5 questions that follow. Physics, mathematics, these values, then chemistry, then biology, psychology, and this one economics, these have been given. And on this side numbers have been given. These are number of professors in selected disciplines in a university by sex. And another figure is given in which age of physics professors have been given. This is age of physics professors, and this one is 45 to 15, the least one, this one, least colored, 10%, little bit darker. This is 60 to 65 here. Then 25 to 34 is this, and then 25 to 44. Question is, how many physics professors belong to the age 35 to 44? So 35 to 44 is this one, which is darkest, this is, and number is written here 40. So 40% is written here. So total number of professors, this is 40% of total number of professors in physics. So if we add the physics professors numbers, this is coming 8, and this is 2, the top value. So 32 plus 8 is 40. So 40% of 40 means 40 upon 100. It means we get 16, and answer is B. Next is, here same figures are there. Question is, which one of the following disciplines has the highest ratio of male to female? So we can see the difference between male and female, that will be the highest. So the maximum difference in physics, if you see in mathematics, it is less than physics, because these are same values. The female teachers are same in both, but male are more in physics. Here also difference is less, here is difference is less. So in physics answer is A. In this question, what percentage of all psychology professors are females? So first we have to find out psychology female professors. So psychology is here, and this is 4 and this is 6. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Total psychology is 10, and out of 10 females are 6. Percentage of psychology professors who are female are 6 upon 10 into 100. This is female professor, this is total number of psychology professors. So this comes 60%. So answer is C. Next is same figure. If the number of female physics professors in the age group 25 to 35, 25% of all the physics professors in that age group, then what is the number of male physics professors in the age group 25 to 34? So 25 to 34 is this much, which is this 30%. So we have to find out. So as we have seen that total physics professors are 32 plus 8, which is 40. And now 25% of this is 30 in this given 30. So 30% of 40. 40 into 30 upon 100. This comes 12. So 12 are there. Total number of physics professors whose age is between 25 to 34. And 25% of this is female. So 12 into 25% of this. So this becomes 3. So 3 are female. And the male professors will be 12 minus 3, which is 9. So answer is A. Same figure. If the psychology professors in the university constitutes 2% of all professors in the university, then what is the number of professors in the university? Psychology professors are, as we had seen, 4 plus 6, 10. Total 10 professors. So 2% are 10, then 100% are 10 upon 2 into 100. It means 500 professors are there. So answer is B. Next question. Consider the following information regarding the performance of a class of 1000 students in 4 different tests. Test 1, 2, 3, 4 are given. Average marks have been given 60, and this range of marks 30 to 90, 40 different is there. If a student scores 74 marks in each of the 4 tests, means here everywhere 74. So this is the situation. In which one of the following tests is her performance the best comparatively? So here the maximum is 100, here also 100, so 74 is quite less. But here 75, near to 74. So this is the best perform, because here also 90 and 74. So minimum is 60, but 74 is nearest to highest marks. So here, in which one of the following tests is her performance the best comparatively? So in test 2 the performance will be best. Question 31 to 33. Read the passage given below, study the graph that follows, and answer the 3 questions given below the figure. During a party, a person was exposed to contaminated water. A few days later he developed fever and loose motions. He suffered for some days before going to a doctor for treatment. On starting the treatment, he soon became better and recovered completely a few days later. The following graph shows different phases of the person's disease condition as regions A, B, C, D and E of the curve. So figure is here, and in this figure time on this side, and in this direction number of bacteria have been given. So first question is, which regions of the curve corresponds to incubation phase of the infection? So only A is the answer. A is the answer because before starting the disease, bacteria live in incubation period or phase, so that A is this part is showing that. Next is, which region of the curve indicates that the person begin showing the symptoms of infection? So that will be next stage, that is B. B part is the next one in this. So B is the answer, when symptoms will occur. Next is, which region of the curve indicates that the treatment yielded effective relief? When bacteria reduces, it means relief is there, and that part is, this is y direction is showing the number of bacteria, so it means E part is showing. Next is, consider the 4 age pyramids. Age means age of a person given below, namely A, B, C, D, representing 4 different countries. Percentage in age class is given here, and on Y this age. Decline in population will be when death rate is more than the birth rate. So difference is big. So the lower part of the figure shows that this is birth rate, here birth rate, and the upper portion shows death rate, and we can see here birth rate is more in comparison to this death rate. Here also more. In this, birth rate is less than the, here also this is less, and the death rate is almost same but more than A and B. So here we can see this is more death rate, difference is more in between death rate and birth rate. Here birth rate is more, so in the C we can see the declining of population, so answer is C. The following figure has 4 curves, namely A, B, C and D. Study the figure and answer the question that follows. Which curve indicates the exponential growth? So we can see here years have been given, and in this direction populations in billions. So we see the curve C. This shows e to the power x form, which is that it is increasing continuously and then fast increase is there here. So e to the power x curve, which is called exponential curve, this shows this one. So C is the answer. The following pie charts show the breakup of disease categories recorded in the patients from 2 towns, town A and town B. So town A and town B have been given. This is town B, this is town A. Pie charts plot the disease categories as percentage of the total number of patients. Based on these, answer the 2 questions that follow the charts. Which of the 2 towns has a higher number of persons with diabetes? So in the first, percentage and disease has been given, in the second also percentage. So if we total this, this becomes 13 plus 18 plus 13 plus 22 plus 34, this is 100. But total number is not known, so we cannot say anything about it, that how many patients are with diabetes. So no inference can be drawn. So answer is D. What can we say about persons with more than one disease from these graphs? So in B, if we add the percentage, it is becoming 20 plus 30, 50 plus 28 plus 24 plus 19, it is more than 100, it comes 121. So it's more than 100, it means people are having 2 diseases which are common somewhere. So A says there are likely to be persons with more than one disease in town A. No, because there 100 is the sum, total is 100. B, there are likely to be persons with more than one disease in town B. So it is correct. There are likely to be persons with more than one disease in both. No, not both. No inference can be drawn. So B is the answer, because in first 100 is the total of patients, 100%, in second it is 120%, so common is there. In a survey regarding a proposed measure, 2878 persons took part, so total person, of which 1652 were males. 1652 are males, so remaining is, these are females. And 1226 persons voted against the proposal, so 1226 against, of which 796 were males. 796 are males, those voted against, so females are 0, 3, and this becomes 4. These are the females, those who voted against. 1425 persons voted for the proposal. 1425 voted for proposal. 196 females were undecided. How many females voted for the proposal? So these have voted for proposal. Total number of females are 1226, and out of which 430 against, out of which 196 were undecided, so 600 female voted in the favor, so B is the answer. Next question, how many males were undecided? We have to find how many males are undecided. So we know that those who have given in against, that is 796, and total males are 1652. It means remaining are, so these are the males which have given in favor plus undecided. And just now we had calculated that 1425 people have given in favor, and out of which 600 are female. So how many men are there? 825 males are there. So 856 minus 825 is 31 were undecided. So answer is A. How many females were not in favor of the proposal? So we had just seen 430, that is 12. Total people, those who have voted against, are 1226, and out of which 796 are males which have voted against, so remaining are 433 females, those who voted against. This we had calculated in previous question also, so this is the answer A. A is the answer. Consider the following distance time graph. The graph shows 3 athletes ABC, so we can see in the figure A, B, C running side by side for a 30-kilometer race. So here distance in kilometers, and in this side time in seconds. So question is, with reference to the above graph, consider the following statements. 1. The race was won by A. 2. B was ahead of A up to 25 kilometers. So we can see that A has finished the race in minimum time. Out of these three ABC, A's time is minimum. If we can see on this scale, so this is minimum. For B it will be somewhere here, and C even didn't complete, because distance he didn't run 30, he has completed only 25 kilometers. Second is B was ahead of, yes, B was ahead of A up to 25, because time for B has completed in less time, the same distance. If we see, so it is area under the curve, so we see 15 kilometers B has completed in this much time, somewhere here, and A has completed somewhere here this much time. So till 25 B was ahead of A, and after that A completed before than B. 3 C ran very slowly from the beginning. No, in the initial value C ran fast. B is the answer. This question is, the following table shows the percentage change in the consumption of electricity by 5 towns PQRST from 1986 to 1988. So town have been given here, and 86 to 87 percentage change, and from 87 to 88 percentage change. If town T consumed 5 lakh units in 1986, how much did it consume in 1988? The values are in percentage, and when X percent and Y percent two values are there, we have a formula which says that formula is X plus Y plus XY upon 100 if 2 percentages are given. So for T, plus 13 and minus 6, plus 13 minus 6 upon 100. So this comes 78 upon 100. So this is 700 minus 78 upon 100 is 6.22, because this is 622, so this much percent is there. Now we have to find out consumption of electricity by T in 1988. So it will be 5 lakh plus 6.22% of 5 lakhs. So we can write down 5 into 10 to the power 5, 1 plus 6.22 upon 100. It comes 106.22 upon 100 into 5 into 10 to the power 5, which comes into 10 cube, which is 531100. These many units, 531100 units. So this is the answer. So B is the answer. The distribution of 1 lakh tourists who visited India during a particular year is shown in the given charts. Based on this, the number of Japanese tourists below the age of 39 who visited India in the year concerned as, so it's below 39 years. So in the graph it is 20% for Japan. 20% for Japan is given here, and in this below 39 is 10 and 10%. So it is 20% because it's given here and here. So 20%. So tourist is 20% from Japan, and total number is 1 lakh. So 20% of 1 lakh is, it is 20,000. So 20% of 20,000 is 4,000. So answer is D. In an office, the distribution of work hours is as shown in the following table. So in table, members have been given and work hours have been given. Consider the following inferences drawn from the table. The average number of hours worked by a staff member is about 30. So if we see the number, so we get the data here. Average is 9.5, here 22, then 27, 32, 37 and 42.5. So we multiply it by numbers. Members here are there. Members are given, so each we multiply corresponding value. We multiply corresponding value and get the average. So 9.5 into 5 plus 22 into 1 plus 27 into 25 plus 32 into 40 plus 37 into 15 plus 42.5 into 8, and we add total members. 5 plus 1 plus 25 plus 40 plus 15 plus 8. Value comes 2919.5 upon 94, which is 31.05, which is roughly we can say 30. And number of persons who worked 35 hours or more than that, that will be 15 and 8. So 15 plus 8 is 23. Persons worked more than 35 or more than 35 hours. Worked 35 or more than 35 hours. So percentage of such persons will be, total number of persons are 94. So percentage is 23 upon 94 into 100. And if we calculate this, this comes to 4.5%, which is roughly 25. So first and second are valid. First is the average number of hours worked by a staff member is about 30, which we have got. It's a 31.05. So about 30 we can say. The second is the percentage of those who worked 35 or more hours is less than 25. So it is less than because it is 24.5, so it is correct. At least 5 staff members worked more than 44 hours. It is not correct because if we take the average of 40 and 45, it comes 42.5. So no one has worked. So we cannot say 5 staff members worked more than 44 hours. Average is coming 42.5. So third is not correct, which says at least 5 staff members worked more than 44 hours. So first and 2. C is correct answer. The yield versus fertilizer input is shown in the graph. So fertilizer input is given and on y-axis yield is given. Here yield and this is fertilizer impact. Fertilizer input. Here fertilizer input is given. Consider the following statements based on this graph. Yield rate is 0 at B and C. This graph is giving yield, not the rate. So we cannot say anything about rate. It is giving yield, and here this is fertilizer, not the time is not given, so this is not correct. There is no yield with no fertilizer input. So in this we can see 20 is there, because when 0 is there it is 20, so this is also not correct. The yield is minimum at D, so here it is minimum because yield is 8 which is given. Here it is given 8, minimum value is given. The yield is neither minimum nor maximum at C. C is a saddle point, so nor maximum or minimum. Saddle point is a point where no maximum nor minimum. So answer is 3 and 4. B is the answer. A company manufacturing air conditioners set a monthly target. The target and realized values are shown in the bar chart. So the blank bars are target and the shaded are actual one in the figure. So we can see here values have been written in. The target is the blank one, this one, and this is the actual one. The question is, consider the following statements based on the chart. The targeted sales on a monthly basis have been achieved. It's not in the last one, it is not. Here it is target but it has not been achieved. Actual is less. The overall target value has been exceeded by 7.5%. So the values are given here in number of units. So if we see, third is the sales department deserves a pat on the back. This is not correct, so 1 is not correct, so only 2 is correct, because we can see in each bar it's almost same, little bit more, here also more, then here, everywhere, only here minimum less than. So we see that everywhere the target has been achieved and actual is more, and by observation we can say it is 7.5%. If we want to calculate, then we have to add the values of target values, which is written on that is 28 plus 40 plus 65. Need not to calculate because very clear second statement is correct, so B is the answer for this. But to confirm, we can see the value of calculation: 65 plus 85 plus 40 plus 65 plus 40 plus 20. So this comes 383 units, and the actual values are sum of those values: 29 plus 50 plus 75 plus 95 plus 55 plus 80 plus 50 plus 10, and this comes 444. And the percentage increase, if we want to see, then 444 minus 383 upon 383 into 100, and if we calculate this comes 15.92%, which is more than 7.5%. By observation we can say the B is the correct answer. The misery index is the sum of a country's unemployment and inflation rate. The higher the index, the more miserable is the country to live in. The figure given below is the misery index for various countries in Europe: Spain, Belgium, Italy, France, Germany and Britain on this side, and here it is given percentage, and the blank portion is unemployment and the this shaded is inflation rate in each case. Which of the following conclusions can be drawn from the misery index given above? Britain is the most miserable country to live in. Now if we see the Spain's index is more, this is more, so we cannot say Britain's is less. Even these are having higher. The inflation rate in Spain is less than that in Belgium and Britain. So in Spain, yes, this is correct. So because we can see inflation rate is here less than Belgium, this portion, and then Britain, these are more. Italy and France seem to have almost identical unemployment. So if we see the figure of Italy and France, so there these unshaded portions are almost same, so this is correct. The higher the misery index, the higher the inflation rate. No, it is not correct, because we see in the first Spain misery index is more but inflation is less. So 2 and 3 are correct. So answer is B. The above table indicates the performance of India in rice and wheat production from 1950 to 51 to 1955 to 1906. At from the above table would be valid. Record production of rice as well as wheat has been in 1994 to 95. So if we see 1994, it is 81.81 and here 65.77, which is higher if we see all other values here. So this is more. In wheat also this is maximum value. So in wheat also we can, because it is wheat and here rice, and this is percentage of wheat to rice. Here we can see the interval is given. So A, first statement is correct. Second is the ratio of wheat to rice production seems to have steadily increased over 16 years. So only last value is little bit less, but it has been increased over this period, so we can say it steadily increased. Third is wheat has not been popular among the Indian population before 1980. Data is not about popular, so we cannot say its production. India became self-sufficient in rice and wheat only after 1990. Nothing has been said how much was required and how much has been produced, so we cannot say. So 1 and 2 are correct. In 2 little bit, in the end it is less, but we can take it steadily increase. So it is A is the answer. The number of students in 2 sections A and B having different heights is shown in the following table. So height has been given in meters, number of students in section A, in section B, and this is in meters height is there, and here for this height 1.55, 3 students in A section and 2 in B section. So question is the ratio of the number of students of a particular height in section A to that in section B is the maximum for the height of. So if we see, ratio is 3/2, which is 1.5 for first one. 3/2 is 1.5. Then we have 7/6, which will be less than 1.5. Then 12/14 means 6/7. Again this will be less than 1 even. Then 15 upon 14 also less than 1.5. 8 upon 9 less than 1. Then we have 6 upon 5. It becomes 1.2. Then 3 upon 4 is less than 1. So the first one is correct. So for 1.55. So A is the answer. The following table shows the percent change in the amount of sales in rupees at different retail stores in a given neighborhood market in the period 1993 to 1995. So here retail store is given, percentage change 1993 to 94 and 94 to 95. If the sales at Anshu store, names have been given, so this is this store, Anshu store, where store amounted to rupees 8 lakh in 1993. Then the amount of sales in lakh rupees at that store in 1995, because here percentage change is given. So similarly as we did earlier, we can say x plus y plus xy upon 100. So we have x as for Anshu plus 10, then minus 10, then plus minus means minus 100 upon 100. So this is 1%, and amount of sales in 1995 will be, so this is equal to minus 1%, and minus 1% of it, so the value we have to calculate is the amount sales in 1995 for Anshu store is 8 minus 1% of 8, and 1% of 8 means 100 in 101 in 8 it will be 1 upon 100 into 8, 8 upon 100 minus 8 upon 100. Once you remember how to do, need not to do this portion, you can directly write 8 upon 100. This gives 8, 1 minus 1 upon 100. So this comes 8 into 99 upon 100, which is equal to 7.92 lakh. So this is the answer A. A is the answer. Question 51. The following table shows the percentage distribution of revenue expenditure of Government of India in 1989 to 90 and 1994 to 95. So expenditure head is given, percentage to total, percent to total, years, then the heads are defense, interest payment, subsidies and state duties, grants to other. So year 1989 and 1989-92, 1994-95. Based on this table, it can be said that the Indian economy is in poor shape because the central government continues to under pressure to A. reduce expenditure on defense, B. spend more and more on interest payments. So this seems because we are in debt. C. reduce expenditure on subsidies. D. spend more and more as grants in aid to state government UTs. So because 27 to 38, 27.7 to 38.7. So it has increased, debt has increased, we are paying more interest. It means B is correct answer. This shows that we need more debt. 52. The following figure represents sales in thousands over the period 1978 to 83. The sales in 1981 exceeded that in 1979 by, so 1981 is this one because these are the years, and here sales. So this is the sale, which is, if we draw a line, it is approximately 420. So 420, and in 1979 this much, so it will be 320 roughly. So we have 420 minus 320, that is 100 into 10 cube, because it is in 1000, so 1 lakh. So 1 lakh is the answer. Answer is C. The given pie charts show the proportion of literates and illiterates in a country in the year 1970 and 1990. So we have male here and male here, female here and female here, and these are illiterates and these are illiterates. So in this figure, illiterates have been reduced. There is no big difference. The figure is little bit distorted. It's a circle, basically proper circle, and the figure is something like this. This is male, this is female, and these are illiterates. And second time it is, these are males, these are females, and these are illiterates. So there is no big difference in males, but big difference in females. (1970 and 1990), and also the proportion of males and females F among the literates. Which one of the following statements can be said to be true beyond any doubt? So A, in 1970 half of the illiterates were women. No. The proportion of literate males to the total population of males remained the same over the year. It has increased, we cannot say same. Male literacy did not improve over this period. The ratio of female literates to male literates improved significantly over this period. This is correct because number of females who are literate has increased a lot, so ratio has increased, so answer is D. Consider the diagram given below, and in this figure, T transport, EC education and children, H housing, C clothing, F food, S savings, O others. From the diagram shown, it would be right to conclude that A, the family spent more than half of income on food and clothing. So food is this and clothing is this. The amount saved by the family was too little, so savings are there. The family had two health problems, so this is health is here. The family managed to meet all the essential expenses out of the income earned. Because we see all the sectors have been covered for a family and savings are also there, so D seems most appropriate statement. 55. Consider the table given below providing details of traffic volume per hour for 4 locations. Location 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 locations, total traffic volume, percentage of heavy vehicles, average noise level, noise pollution level. When the total traffic volume is the same, the factors which affects the noise pollution level is our percentage of heavy vehicle. So total traffic volume is same when 377. So this is, and we have to find out what is the reason for noise pollution. Noise pollution here 84 and in this 86. So compared to others, heavy vehicles are more here, and in this average noise level is heavy vehicle is the reason. Noise pollution level and average noise level, no, average noise level and percentage of heavy vehicles. Average noise level is not a reason for noise pollution. It is due to something, so that is heavy vehicles. So percentage of heavy vehicles, A is the correct answer. The variations in temperatures from 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade with respect to time of two liquids PQ are shown in the graph. Which one of the following statements is correct? In this question I see the end point is PQ are not reaching 100. If we take they are touching 100, it is less than 100 basically. Which one of the following statements is correct? During heating, liquid P remained hotter than liquid Q throughout. No, here it is less because temperature is more here. So here Q is less. Q is having less temperature in this area. So it is not correct. At no point of time during heating did the liquids have the same temperature. At this crossing intersection it is same. P attained the temperature of centigrade faster than Q. If we think they have attained 100 degree, but it shows it is not, they are not attaining. Let's assume that they are attaining 100 degree. So P is attaining, no, it is wrong. Then Q attained the temperature of 100 degrees centigrade faster than P. If they are attaining 100, then Q has attained, then D is the answer, but otherwise none of these is the answer. D with the condition if this is 100, which seems no. So no, this question is not correct. 57. The price fluctuations of A scripts in a stock market in the 4 quarters of a year are shown in the table below. 4 different investors had the following portfolios of investment in the 4 companies throughout the year. So portfolios means investor has taken a few scripts. So like investor 1 has 10 of A, 20 of B, 30 of C and 40 of D. And stock market performance scripts A, B, C, D. Here they are given, and quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, here investors have been given. So 10 of A, 20 of B, 30 of C, 40 of D. So which one, in the light of the above, which one of the following statement is correct? Investor 2 has made the best investment, investor 1 has made the best, investor 2 suffered a net loss during the year, investor 3 suffered a net loss. So net loss comes so that when we are taking total of expenses including taxes, fee, interest, depreciation, etc. So that is not given here. So 3, C and D won't be applicable. Now we see in first 2. So investor 2 has made 40 of A, 10 of B, 20 of C and 30 of D. So we have to compare 10 of A, 20 of B, 30 of C, 40 of D and 40 of A. This is one investor, this is two investor. 40 of A, 10 of B and 30 of C and 30 of D. And quarter 1 A is up by 10%. So these are A. So both got more. And this is A is up in first quarter, down in second, up in third and down in fourth. So total is 10%, 15, 10, 15, 10 and 10. So 15 down and 10 down. So 20 up and 25 down. So down, this is down. B is up, always up. C is, in last two it is down. So C is 16% up and 6% down. So it is up, C is up. D is 50% up, 50% up and 25% down. So this has increased more, 25% D has increased. So whosoever has taken D more, that person. So 40 of D by investor 1. So investor 1 has made best investment. Investor A, that is B, is the answer. And for B the total up is only 3 and 2, 5 and 7%. So 25% of D, and maximum D is of investor 1. Study the graphs given below. The first, hypothetical movement of Bombay Stock Exchange BSE sensitive index, which is an indicator of the average price movement of a representative set of stocks. The second graph depicts the average price of all automobile manufacturing companies. Which one of the following is a valid inference? A. The market is unstable because prices are continuously fluctuating. B. Automobile shares are more stable shares in general. C. There are major political changes in June and July. D. Automobile shares have been steadily improving in price rather than being affected by major market movements. So if we see the second graph, it seems the trend is increasing side, but it is fluctuating. So the first one is A is the correct answer, that the market is unstable because prices are continuously fluctuating. It seems the trend is increasing, but see here it's very fluctuating, so we cannot take D as this one. A is the answer. 59. Consider the following chart. Interest rates in percentage have been given. Real rate and nominal rates have been given. The chart above shows the movement of nominal interest rates and real interest rates, defined as nominal interest rate minus inflation. So nominal is the blank one and this is the real one which is shaded, and nominal is, real rates are nominal interest rate minus inflation. Which one of the following is the correct interpretation? A. Nominal interest rates decreased at a constant rate in the period Feb 1992 to September 1993. So September is the last one, and if we see, real rate is the shaded one. This is real rate, and real rate is nominal interest rate, and the blank is nominal interest rate minus inflation. So if we take this one, This is inflation. If we subtract shaded from the blank one, that gives us inflation. So this much is inflation. The blank area is inflation. In this is inflation. Here this is inflation according to the definition given in this. So nominal interest rates decreased at a constant rate in the period. So this one is inflation. It is not constant because if we see the difference between 19 and 18, which is 1, but in what it is the difference in 19, so it is 1 upon 19, and next time it is 18 minus 17, that is 1 upon 18, so 1 upon 18. So nominal interest rates are not decreasing at a constant rate, it is different. B, inflation has constantly decreased from Feb 1992 to September 1993. This is correct because we see the blank bar which are showing inflation, it is decreasing. So we can say this is correct. Although the nominal rates we can calculate, but by observation also we can see it is decreasing. We can calculate inflation as nominal rate minus real rate. So in first it comes 19 minus 5.3, which is 13.7. Next is 18 minus 5.2, it is 12.8. Then 16 minus 7.2 is 8.8, and then 8.8 we have to subtract from 15, 6.2. So we see it is decreasing constantly. Although the nominal rates of interest have constantly declined from Feb 1992 to September 1993, the real rates have been steadily increasing throughout the period. No, in the second bar it is less, so it is not correct. D, nominal rate of interest and real rate of interest are likely to become equal in 1994. No. So answer is B. Here rate is not constant. Decreased, but rate is not constant. Decreased, but rate is not constant. 60. The table below compares April exports of various countries between the year 1980 and 1990. Countries are Hong Kong, then Italy, then China, South Korea, Thailand, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and this is giving total value. Year 1980 and year 1990. Values have been given. These are in billions. Which one of the following statements is not true? Restricting consideration to countries listed in the table only. A, Thailand has overtaken India in April export performance between 1980 and 1990. Total April export from the countries listed has increased in dollar terms between 1980 and 1990, but parts of this is likely to be global inflation. This seems okay because in this one 1980 the cost shows the from question it is not clear that what is in billion, Aprils or the cost, it is money, but in B it is written total April export from the countries listed has increased in dollar terms, means its cost between 1980 and 1990, but part of this is likely to be due to global inflation. So if it is cost, then cost of each has increased in this year 1990, in each it has increased, so it may be due to inflation. It seems correct. India's share of the April export market has increased. For everyone it has increased. If we see the data, First is 4.98, then see in every data it has increased. So so it is true for each country, not only for India. Maximum improvement in April export performance has been achieved by Indonesia. So B, which one of the following statements is not true? We have to find out not true. In this it is written not true. Not true. Restricting considerations to countries listed in the table only. Thailand has overtaken India in April export performance between 1980 and 1990. Thailand had 0.27 and now it is 3.33, and India was 0.59 and now 2.50. So this is correct. A is correct. B, total April export from the countries listed has increased in dollar terms. There it is in billions and it's not correct known that it is cost. It seems number of Aprils between 1980 and 1990, but part of this is likely to be due to global inflation. It's not clear its cost. It's in billions, so it may be it's a number we don't know, so we cannot say it's due to global inflation. This is not correct. India's share of April export market has increased. Yes, it has increased. Whether it is number or cost. D, maximum improvement in April export performance has been achieved by Indonesia. So Indonesia is 1.65 and it was 0.10. Calculate for the two data, one for Indonesia and another for Hong Kong. Indonesia it was 0.1 and now it is 1.65, and Hong Kong was having 4.98, now 15.41. So the difference is here 1.55, and in this we subtract. Let's check for two. First for Indonesia, that is 1.65 is now and earlier 1.55. For Hong Kong 15.41 and earlier 4.98. So we subtract 10.43. So we see how much improvement has been done. In 0.1 it is 1.55. In 100 it is 1.55 upon 0.1 into 100. So we can remove this and this gives 0. 0 is, so it is 1550%. In another one it is 4.98. In this the change is this much. So in 100 how much? So we will get percentage upon 4.98 into 100. It's gone. We can divide it. It comes 2.094 into 100, which is 209.4. So this much. So in this Indonesia, this is also correct. The difference in this 209 which seems more. So only B is the incorrect, not true. So answer is B for this. Thank you.